I'm Terry McCall. I'm the mountain bike editor at Canadian Cycling Magazine. We're here with two treks, the new Fuel EXe Gen 6 and the Fuel EXe. As you can tell, they look a lot alike, and that is not a coincidence. Trek has released their new lightweight e-mountain bike, the EXe, and shortly after they released the Fuel EXe. And the frames obviously take a lot of cues from each other, very similar design, because Trek wants you to have a very similar experience on both bikes. While these bikes look similar, there are some differences. Obviously, the Fuel EXe has a motor. And then on the Fuel EXe, while there's obviously no motor, there is an adjustable headset, letting you choose your head tube angle. There's also an adjustable suspension progression chip, letting you choose between a more or less progressive suspension kinematic. Both bikes feature Trek's long-serving Minilink. It's a distinctive, if not unique, idea to have two bikes this close in design. Trek clearly wanted an EXe riders to have the analog experience, and for analog riders to have an eMTB option that's close to what they already know. The basis of the EXe is the TQ HPR50, and it's this new motor that is both smaller and lighter, letting Trek hit the low weight of 18.45 kg. That's 40.6 pounds. And it also gives the EXe a near silent operation. The TQ HPR50 gives 50 Newton meters of torque, and it comes with a 350 watt-hour battery. That combination is good enough to get you through a pretty solid ride, maybe not an all-day epic, but enough that you are not running out of battery on like your daily loop. The EXe 9.9 comes with SRAM XX1 axis. The wireless shifting is in this case hardwired in, so it's drawing power from the battery instead of a little tiny battery attached to the derailleur. That means you don't have to worry about charging your derailleur, you just have to worry about charging your dropper post and your bike. Turning to the Fuel EXe, it's a bit lighter. It's 14.11 kg for the 9.9 axis model. That's 31.11 pounds, so you save just over 10 pounds. It comes with, as mentioned, the headset adjust, the Minilink, and the suspension progression chip, giving you all kinds of things that you can change to make the Fuel EXe match either your riding style, where you're riding, or where you want to go on vacation, say. So how do these two bikes compare? Trek has increased the travel 10 millimeters over previous versions of the Fuel EXe. That makes it a bit more capable on challenging trails, but the EXe does not let go of its fuel heritage. It still pedals efficiently and is relatively light for a mid-travel trail bike. And both bikes are at home pushing really hard on the trails. They're both really capable on harder trails than I was expecting. Both also quite fun to pedal around. They're efficient, they're pretty light, and they pedal well. Trek has really overbuilt the frame on the Fuel EXe and the Fuel EXe, making a very stiff chassis, especially combined with the RSL integrated bar stem and their own Bontrager Line Pro 30 wheels. That makes for a bike that really excels on faster trails, flowier trails, where you're hitting jumps, hitting corners as hard as you want. The fuels are not going to flinch underneath you. They're also light enough that they're fun when you're maybe cruising flow trails, just kind of enjoying the ride. They're light, they're poppy, they're really fun to play around on. Trek's tagline for the Fuel was "Any trail, any rider," and they really do a good job of hitting that. You can set up the Fuel in a way that will suit you. That's within a reasonable limit. Neither of these are cross-country bikes, and neither are a full-on enduro bike. Anything between those two extremes is fair game. To each other, obviously the Fuel EXe is a little bit heavier, but for an electric mountain bike, it is fun, it's playful, it's really easy to move the back end around. You don't have to hit the gym if you want to lift up the front end. It's very impressive for an electric mountain bike. The Fuel EXe is lighter, it is going to be easier to move around on the trail, it is going to climb very well for a non-electric mountain bike, but the EXe does have that assist. The TQ motor feels really natural on top of just being quiet. It makes it feel very normal to stand up on the pedals. It gives you a nice smooth assist when you're sitting down just trying to spin up a trail. There really aren't any inconsistencies or unexpected bits with getting used to the TQ motor, especially coming from the Fuel EXe. One comment for both bikes is with the 9.9 build, it is a very stiff chassis combined with very stiff parts, to the point where I found both bikes a little bit fatiguing on consistently rough trails. I did try switching out both the bars and the wheels on both bikes. Making either of those changes had an immediate effect, making the bike slightly more forgiving without losing the speed and precision the Trek was aiming for with the stiff chassis. So we are looking at the top end 9.9 axis models for both of these Treks, which means that the Fuel EXe comes with a price tag of $13,700. For the EXe, that's $18,300. Both of those are pretty steep price tags, but Trek offers 6 models of the EXe, all come with a carbon fiber frame, and the lowest price point for that is the 8.5 at $8,400. There's another 7 Gen 6 Fuel EXe models. That includes an alloy frame option, which brings the EX7 to a price point of $4,400. So Trek has done a really impressive job releasing 2 very good trail bikes within a couple of months of each other. The designs look similar, but obviously Trek had to put a lot of different engineering into making the EXe work. For the Fuel EXe, they have an excellent trail bike that is light, it's fast, and it's really fun to ride. With the Fuel EXe, they have an absolutely standout electric mountain bike that is light, it's quieter than the competition, and it does a really good job of targeting the mid-travel trail bike for an electric bike, where most are bigger bikes targeting more aggressive riders. The EXe is fun on any kind of trail. You can turn down the assist and have a blast on cross-country flowing trails, or you can do the usual climb hard with full power and then kind of turn off the engine and descend as fast as you want. Depending on what you're looking for, Trek's got something on offer here.